T90, are we ready? Are we ready to jump into the first set?
I think we are. Yeah, I didn't even see that they had launched. So we're in a
Really?
good spot here, Jordan. Real quick, predictions though. I want to hear the caster predictions.
Okay, you go first or me?
No, you definitely go first.
I go for Velas 3-2.
Ooh, I'm gonna go 3-1 Hera.
Okay. Do you know why I said that? It is because I'm not sure if you followed the Discord story, but Hera didn't even know what the first game was. So it felt like
I did see that.
Yeah, it felt like his preparation is by far not as good as Vilas's. And
Sure.
Vilese, he is known to have great preparation. Maybe he is capable of coming up with something good here. It would not surprise me.
No, I wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, let's hope for a good series, right? Let's hope
Yeah,
we get to 5 games.
Yeah.
Hera in the blue playing as the Gurjaras. Cannot wait to talk about this. You could argue that they're maybe nerfed slightly because they start with the Flaming Camel instead of the Camel Scout, which Gurjaras would normally start with.
Yeah.
But I think a top tier pick for this map. Hera's bringing in this elephant, but there's so much, so many herdables on the map, Jordan. So many sheep, so many cows, and if Hera can start to throw them inside of the mill, he's going to be in a fantastic spot.
Yeah, exactly. Hera being housed here now, so that is obviously not ideal for him. A bit of a slip off. And as you mentioned, there is so much herdable on the map, and Gujaras obviously with the functionality of them having the possibility to garrison sheep into the mill, which gives them a food boost. Definitely a beautiful thing to have.
Yeah, it was something that was drafted in a draft where there's a snipe allowed. And Velez didn't seem that terrified of it because he chose to snipe something else.
Yeah.
And he allowed the Gurjaras to be picked.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's interesting. So you can fit a max of 10 units inside of your mill.
Yeah.
And if you have a cow, which has 150 food, it actually does bring you a higher food trickle than a goat, which is 100 food. So
exactly.
It's the same thing, but you can still only fit 10. So technically speaking, if Hera were to get enough and he's still collecting more, there might be a time where he should eject sheep and replace it with cows, right? Because he would then get as much food as possible. So I'm maybe getting ahead of myself, but I think he'll actually get
it. Yeah, you're definitely right about that thought process. And also, it depends a lot on how much herdables he has. Because if Hera has around 18 herdables, then it makes sense to build a second mill as well. And then he doesn't have to go for those shenanigans. But ideally, you have only cows in there. And sheep, I don't know. You want to take or build a second mill? I'm not sure. I think going for the second mill makes sense here.
Yeah, you probably have to. I guess what's tricky here is depending on how fast he wants to be. He's already got so much food underneath his TC. So I'm not sure if he'll even need to make a second mill to get the food income. And he might need the wood for a barracks or an archer range and whatnot. For Velez, I mean, he's just going to take the food normally, like any other civ. And man, they've got so much food on this map. It feels like there's as much food at the start on this map as we will have in games 2 through 5 altogether.
It looks like that, right? There's so much food. And T90, I'm not sure. Have you ever had dim sum?
I think I did. It wasn't a really memorable experience, but I believe I did once.
Until yesterday, I didn't even know that was actually a meal. So
wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Until yesterday?
Yeah, someone yesterday like, that's a good food. I'm like, oh, that is actually a food. Like, I didn't question the name of the map, right?
I see. Yeah.
People
okay, interesting. Yeah, I think
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've seen I have to say you're quite basic on your Instagram. You're always posting like little videos of your food and photos of your food. I get to see what Jordan has to eat more frequently than any of my other friends.
Exactly.
But I've never seen dim sum on there, so.
No, that's the problem. And I literally post everything, the food I eat on Instagram, right? So no dim sum for me so far.
Is Hera going fast castle? He's still got Vils in queue, and he's going for another elephant. I think this is going to be number 4 for him, and he already has
it could even be
mill
5.
maxed out.
Yeah. It could even be 5 rhinos, and he has so many villages in the queue still, and so much food gathered up already. So I would not be surprised at all to see a fast castle by him. And he has back stone. He has 1 gold close to his TC though. So if Vilese was to go forward and place a tower there, that would be completely problematic for him. But Vilese, he is not even thinking about that. He adds an archer range now, and he's not going to go for any aggression whatsoever. Just goes for the archer play. And by the things, how things are shaping out right now, I like Harry's position because he will not take too much damage against the archers. And he can easily go to the Shrivamsha Rider, which is just completely annihilate the archer play.
Yep. Yeah, and it's going to be quite difficult for Velez to be able to stop the walling for the time being. He has to create an eagle. Now, I try and stress this point because I think a lot of people don't realize this who are watching. Not having a starting scout is such a big encouragement to wall.
Yep.
And this is even in games where you actually start with a starting scout and then lose it to the TC. The second someone loses their TC, their scout to a TC, normally the other player is going to be able to wall. Hera has recognized that. And by the way, the Flaming Camels, guys, they don't one-shot a villager.
No.
With the explosion. So you're pretty much just using it to block.
Yeah.
And Hera even bringing in another boar. Yeah, I mean, his resources are insane right now.
Yeah. At the moment he clicked up, after he spent 500 food for the fuel age check, he still had 600 food in the bank. Like, are you serious? He has 900 food in the bank right now. Okay, he just queued up a villager. But it looks definitely healthy for him.
Why is he going to stone, though? I'm with you. I think if he would have just gone for a barracks. Yeah, I mean, but just go for a barracks. And then go stable blacksmith and open Shrivamsha riders? I don't know if it would be very easy for Velez to stop. But now you have to get to castle age, and then you have to wait for a castle, and then you have military. I mean, that's a lot more time here for Hera.
Yeah. I guess he wants to try out the unit as well, and the unit itself, like the chakram thrower, I think it's called the chakram thrower, right? That one obviously is has a lot of potential once it's massed up, and now Hera builds the market, so that's for Velese kind of an indicator that indeed there could be a fast castle attempt into the chakram thrower, because otherwise we would see something else here as part of the wall here for Hera.
Okay, most important thing to focus on. Every time the flaming camel stops, it kind of like craps out some fire. Watch. Hera, look at Hera. He's got his camel, right? It's not moving, and now it moved. There it is. Look what it's left behind.
It out, man.
Yeah. You don't see the flames anywhere else, man. Maybe he had too much dim sum last night or something. I don't know.
It was way too spicy for him.
Oh, jeez. I was wondering why the flames were appearing on the map, and it took me a while, but now I figured out that every time the camel stops, the flame just moves to that location.
Yeah, but after some time, it disappears, right? Like, it's not a long-lasting poop there.
Yeah, yep. It's only natural.
Nice.
Well, okay, so Velez will click up. He has applied some pressure, and I do like this because he didn't over-invest into the attack, where he's stuck in the feudal age. He's got nothing to deal with it. Just like Hera can get to castle age quite quickly, Velez could apply some pressure and get up behind. So he's going to be going into what looks to be archers. But again, I just don't think he has confirmed what Hera's going for yet. He might have suspicions, but he doesn't know 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I really like the fact that Velez has been able to, keep up with the castle age time. He's now only 45 seconds behind Hera here. Even though he went to fuel age so much faster. And now that's a big problem for Velez. He tags into eagle play, he goes for the scale mail armor, and infantry has no chance against the chakram thrower at all. He needs crossbows for that.
Gurjaras are such a tricky civ, man.
They are.
I'd be curious to ask your opinion after this game on the balance of them, because I will say that the civ really flows well together, because they kind of counter everything. You have the camels, which do 50% more bonus damage against cav. You have the Shrivamsha, which is incredible against archers. And then you have the chakram thrower, which is great against infantry.
Exactly.
So you know, it's always difficult when you're up against the Civ to know what to do. And this is before we talk about how strong their economy is too. And I think their economy's up there because of starting with the berries and then also having all the herdables. So
Exactly.
it'll
It's
be
just
really tough.
it is a very interesting civilization. I personally love the design of it, but I think it in many stages is a little bit too strong. It feels like they also have a great counter to a lot of different strategies, and therefore it is just hard to punish them. It is very, very hard to punish them.
Are you familiar with the player Stray Dog?
Yes, and I've played against
sure
him
you
3
are.
times. Where
And was he playing Gurjaras every time?
he completely destroyed me.
Yeah, so he went from 2200 to 2450
Yeah.
just by playing Gurjaras.
Yeah,
And there's other examples around 2K of people just one-tricking Gurjaras
Yeah.
and owning people.
He completely destroyed me.
Yeah.
He went forward, and by the time I was okay dealing against a forward, he had 5 fully upgraded scouts in my base. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like, I had no chance whatsoever. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Well, Hera deletes that market foundation that was just there to defend.
Yeah.
And here come the Eagles, but I don't think he's too concerned because he will have the chakrams. I know the Gurjaras make it easy, but Hera has certainly made it look very easy.
Yeah.
Not over-investing or under-investing into anything in particular. For Velez, I would say maybe try and snag some relics before this gets worse for yourself because you are Aztecs. I don't know if Monks is necessarily something you would want against Chakrams in the long term, but I don't know. In the back of my mind, when I'm playing Aztecs, I think get relics. He is also adding a second TC, Jordan, but he is behind Hera economically.
Yeah, for sure. And Hera, with the third TC coming up as well, he's obviously not investing too much into the Chakram throw, and that's exactly the sweet spot of Hera, right? He loves the defensive play. He's extremely strong in that, maybe even the strongest defensive play we have in the game. And yeah, he's just booming behind. And Velez, in the meanwhile, he realized the situation. He needs to apply some pressure, and that's exactly what he's going for. Siege Workshop forward. But I don't think that one is going to be too successful, as Hera has a Siege Workshop himself already defensively.
Yeah, Hera makes enough to get by and says, okay, come at me. Like, I'm going to use my speed defensively and not offensively and to see what you're going to do about it. But there are some risks involved in that, right? And, you know, he didn't add any siege out of the workshop for some time. He's just now doing it. And sometimes you can try and be too cute with this type of approach, and then you can get punished. And then the casters sit back and say, well, why weren't you more aggressive? Why didn't you add some of the other options, like the Shravamsha Rider we mentioned earlier, and maybe just adding the siege faster? But Hera actually cancels his siege because he knows the siege workshop is going to go down, and he has to add another one. This is exactly what we said. Maybe 2 defensive from Hera. He's had plenty of time to do a bit more here, I think.
Yeah, totally agree. And if we look at the army numbers, 4 against 18. And Velez, he will not mind his position too much. Yes, idle villagers. Okay, he fixed that right now. But I also feel like Velez is enjoying himself the most when he's capable of applying the pressure and not getting attacked at home. Because right now, that's a game which he has played so many times already in his Age of Empires 2 career. And even though he has 10 villagers less, he still has the map presence, and that's what matters a lot to him. And he's denying all the gold for Hera right now.
Yeah, I feel like Hera still is going to be confident that he can get a big old shot with these chakrams, and he gets a couple good volleys off of those eagles. Chakrams do pass-through damage, kind of like a scorpion does. So when the numbers get high enough, they become devastating against crossbows and against eagles, and that's part of the problem too. It's like you can't make knights right now. And if you can't make knights, I think... Actually, it's hard to know what to make in general, to be honest, against Gurjaras, but... Velez is making what he'll probably make for the rest of the game, is my point.
Yeah, I think so as well. Now we have the army of Velez coming in on the south side, but obviously not finding any damage because Hera has the TCs up. He's standing strong very defensively. And in the meanwhile, able to further extend his villager lead. Monk being sniped here by the chakram throwers. And if they are capable of closing in the distance against Mangonel, the Mangonel is going to die so fast here.
Yeah, this army just feels so expensive and yet so useless at this point for
Yeah.
Velez. I mean, he did kill 3 villagers, but Hera's at 64, and Hera knew that if he just held on for a bit, he'd be fine. And I think he wants a castle right on that cracked terrain,
Yes.
because that would be the perfect spot in between all 3 of your golds. We might see that shortly here, Jordan, because that army's looking strong enough now to be able to push Velez out of here.
Yeah. And man, this you cannot engage against that army. And the mangonels are just spacing out those crossbows, and the eagles are never going to be able to engage against those chakram throwers. And that's exactly what you predicted here. T90, we have the castle on the cracked terrain, and I don't see how Velez can even compete against that at all.
That's the thing. I don't know what you make. Like, I've been saying this about the Gurjaras. Anything you make, they counter, and they've arguably better economy than all the other civs as well. But if there's enough sheep inside the mills, like their build orders are wild. 18 pop, 19 pop feudals are possible with good economy and good eco upgrades when you make it on a normal map.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a tricky one. I agree that the civ design is really good from the devs, but everything combined makes it so awkward. And Les comes in, he wants to deny this castle here. It feels like if he denies this castle, there's less of a question over what he can do, but not so certain here. It seems so close. It looks like it'll go up. There are 73 villagers versus 56 for Velez.
Did you see the ground attacks of Hera? That was just beautiful. He didn't lose one single mangonel against 8 incoming eagles, and he killed 5 or 6 of them. So just beautiful display here. And yeah, Hera has a perfect position. Second castle is up, and now we will most likely see Hera trying to go for Imperial Age play. And if he adds the Shravamsha Rider as well, I feel like Velez is going to struggle so much. And we have 4 mangonels out already for Hera, so he's going to be able to push very nicely.
If Velez could get one shot, this is his opportunity here. He's about to pop out. Hera might not expect it. And here it is. Okay, well, that was underwhelming.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting how much Hera has on Stony. It looks like he just transferred Vils off of it because he had 11.
Yeah.
But he wants more castles, and I was with you. I thought that you've done enough at this point. You probably could just go up to the Imperial Age soon and go full Shravamsha.
Yeah.
Because your opponent's going all-in archers, but I do still think the Chakram is good enough against crossbows because crossbows typically clump together, and that's where the Chakrams can shine.
Yeah. That's the biggest issue for any unit which fights against the Chakram thrower. If they are stacking up, they're going to take a lot of damage because of the... How did you describe it? The something with go through damage?
I said pass through damage, but I don't know if that... Yeah.
Yeah. Because of the pass through damage, right? And as you mentioned, it feels like Hera... He wants to continue going for the castle age play, and he fully focuses on the Chakram thrower. God damn it.
These are hard things for me to pronounce too, don't worry. Shravamsha, I can only imagine not being a native English speaker.
Yeah, just complete disaster, man.
Well, also disaster here with the castle, possibly. Oh man, no, but the crossbows just get melted.
Wow.
The Hera will complete that castle.
Yeah. Velez currently has 4 army right now, and he goes in for ballistics without any crossbows alive anymore. And Hera has just full control of the game. Those 3 mangonels are going to be able to, you know, put on so much pressure against Velez's economy. And Velez is forced to move all the farms on the mill to have it a bit of safety here. But that will idle a lot of the food income, which Velez has right now. And he goes up to Imperial Age.
Yep, 39 kills, 12 deaths for Hera. He also didn't research armor. He researched his first blacksmith upgrade a couple moments ago. Just got that. Velez has to basically sacrifice everything just to trap 1 castle down.
Yep.
And Hera's going to have more, and it has looked bleak for Velez ever since that crossbow and eagle army wasn't getting damage in. And yeah, Velez even taps out. I mean, that was just maybe a masterclass in how to play Gurjaras, but also just domination from Hera. So well played.
Yeah, that was a kind of a masterpiece and a perfect textbook play by him. You know, remaining calm, even though the aggression was coming into him. He was still totally fine with that. And Vilese, he must be pretty upset about that loss because he used his first pick and he was not able to even have a close game here. Like, he was completely stomped by Hera, and that means Hera is up 1-0 and will go into game number 2 with big confidence, I'm pretty sure.
Has there ever been another time, though, where you have seen Aztecs get completely smashed on a lands map?
No.
Because I'm trying to think about it. It's like Aztecs normally are a civ, they have counters everything, and they're normally taking small advantages and getting leads.
Exactly.
Here, I don't know what Velez could have done more, honestly. If he makes more archers, it's a problem. I think maybe if he goes fast castle, that's also a problem.
Yeah.
I'm going through the list of opportunities that Velez had in this game. It's a very short list, and I think even then he gets smashed. Gurjara is maybe a good counter to Mezzo, but I think we could always have that conversation if it would have been Gurjara's against non-Mezzo as well. Hera, what I like, though, is he came in here and he said, screw the feudal age. There's too much food. I'm just going to go fast castle. And he took a couple extra elephants, and he took a good opportunity to wall up. And again, made it look very easy.
Yeah. Okay, loading into game number 2. We have... Oh, no. T90, you go ahead. Are you in the game already? I was like,
yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I mean, don't stop, man. Come on. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay. So, we have on the top, Era playing the blue trunks as Chinese. And in the south side, we have Vilese playing in the red trunks as Cubans. On the lovely map of Yucatan. And Yucatan is considered more of a close map, which allows for a bit more heavy booming because it's very easy to wall. And also in the middle we have some little lakes here, which you can use as well in Imperial Age to play some galleons or even bombard cannons. Bombard cannon ships, or how that unit is called? I always forget that.
Cannon galleons.
Cannon galleons, yeah, here we have it. And yeah, Vilese with Cumans. Cumans very known for the 2 TC play in Feudal Age. The only civ which can add the second TC in Feudal Age. And if they are able to do so without taking too much damage, they will have a huge lead in terms of economy. And Chinese on this map is not the first one which pops into my mind here. What do you think, T9?
I mean, it pops into my mind about 15 civs ahead of Cumans, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you would have asked me game 1 about the civ matchup, I would have said maybe like 60-40 for Gurjaras. And then if you ask me here the same thing, I think I would say 60-40% towards the Chinese. The weakness of the Chinese would be, and it's not really much of a weakness at this level, but it would just be, can you get enough food to keep your town centers running at the start? And obviously on Yucatan, you'll have that.
Yep.
And 3 boars, double berries, tons of food for Hera to be able to take advantage of. Cheaper technologies. I love the Chinese. And I think the Cumans is maybe a pick that shows potentially that Velez feels like he can't beat Hera playing standard. Because I don't know if he would pick this civ against, I don't know, like ACCM or, you know, some other player out there. I'm surprised.
I don't dislike the Cuman pick too much. I think it has a lot of potential. And it's just because of the fact that most of the time you should get away with the second TC without taking too much damage. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I think Vilese has to go for that direction, because if he's not going to do so, he's going to be behind in every single aspect compared to Chinese. Right, so he has to do so.
Now, the thing that is nice here for Velez is I think he has the perfect TC spot. And sometimes you pick this civ and you look around and you think, oh man, I don't know where to put the second TC. But if he places his second TC to the right of his main gold, he'll have wood and he'll have gold, which is what you would want. And certainly he's going to have the food to keep the town centers running as well. So I'm with you, Jordan. I think that the possibility is here. And you could also make very strong arguments that this is one of the best maps for a 2TC boom.
Yeah.
Because of all the extra sheep and all the extra food from the board. So I personally, I don't know if you have this problem. If I play with Cumans, I lose. If I play against Cumans, I lose. It's very hard civ for me to get right.
Yeah.
I know Velez, good friends with the Max. All the Finnish guys love their Cumans, though, so I'm excited.
Yeah. We have a nice trap from Hera against Velez Scout, and this is a bit bit problematic for Velese, for sure, because no matter what, he's going to take some damage from the TC. Except he's capable of keeping his scout alive until fuel age, but I don't think he is going to be able to do so, because the scout of Hera is going in here, and
yeah,
the scout is going to be doomed, I guess.
You know what this reminds me of, and you might not like this because you happen to be on the other side of it.
MBL,
but yeah. Jordan versus
Gold
MBL,
Rush, Gold Rush
on Gold Rush. I remember it. Yep.
I remember as well. That was a beautiful play by MBL as well. And yeah, I don't like that Hera has finished the Palisade Gate. I think that is kind of unnecessary. It would have been enough if it was like the gate on the south side. And Velese right now, he's just trying to buy himself time. But obviously that's not going to happen, is it? I don't think so.
Yeah, and I guess the good news is you already have your plan if you're humans. But the bad news here would be you have no clue what Hera's going to do.
Yeah.
And I think one of the best options against a 2TC boom would be some type of fast castle play.
Fast castle into Siege Knight, yeah.
Yeah, Siege Knight would be really strong. I don't know if Hera's going for it, actually, because he's clicked up already. But certainly enough food out there where maybe this is still possible.
No, he will go for fast castle. Yeah, 100%. This is a fast castle build. And I expect to see a fast castle Siege Knight here by him. And that's going to hit so hard here. I think Velese needs to play Fuel Age in order to defend against that. And that's not something you want to do.
Yeah, so what's nice is the devs made a tweak, which allows Kumans to perform a bit better in the defense after their 2TC boom. And the barracks is normal cost, but the stables and archery ranges are cheaper, which means that all that investment into the boom is not hold you back. Because I guess before that, it was almost impossible to defend that type of push. It's a fine line with the Kumans. Again, a positive here would be you don't have to farm as heavily right now. If this was Arabia, we would have already seen the farm upgrade, and farms might have been placed by now. So I think Velese could actually float more wood to be able to make those buildings.
That's for sure. But now if I compare the situation, Velese is just now finishing the second TC, while Hera has reached fuel age already. Building the barrack, a bit delayed on that one. And he doesn't have the wood to build the stable and the blacksmith. So his build is not perfectly optimized right now.
Yeah. I felt like Hera was a little fast, but I can understand why he went that fast because of all the extra food.
Yeah.
In the end, I think it will be... With a normal fast castle, you arrive to feudal, you create 2 villas while you're making your buildings, and then you go up. In the end, he'll probably just end up making 4.
Yeah.
And it'll be all the same in the end, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a misplay, but not a big one at all. And Hera will build one more villager, and he's going to be able to go up to castle age in a moment after this. He has to
but
build
I
one
mean...
more villager. Yeah, okay, here we go.
But I mean, this is where Kumans start to really pull ahead. And Velese should be able to. I mean, he just made a mill, so he has to wait for a bit more wood. But he could make a stable. He could make an archery range. Which one would you prefer to see him make here?
Stable. Stable for sure.
I like
Because
it.
that one will give him the, first of all, with scouts, the map vision. Because right now he doesn't have any idea whatsoever. And if you go for archers right now, you're not going to have the mass at all to be able to to fight against knights, for example, right? So yeah, stable play it is. And Hera goes up to cast stage, 2 minutes away from that. And with him having a knight or a stable out already, he's going to be able to put on the aggression a little bit. And I'm wondering if he adds... No, the way he's playing tells me that he wants to add 2 TCs rather than a siege workshop.
Yeah, and whereas Velese is blind right now, and Velese might think, I need to make a lot of military. I kind of like how he's not. I would probably be making the scouts personally, but Velese, he doesn't want to get caught overproducing army in feudal age.
Yeah.
He would like to get to castle age as quickly as possible behind this. So I don't know, man, but I'm looking at the food income, and I guess the double berries is going to save him. Still no farms.
Yeah.
And that's something that he'll definitely have to get out for 2 TCs in a relatively quick time here, I think.
Yeah, I like the situation now for Velese though, because he... Okay, never mind. Hera sends a villager forward. That is so crucial. If the siege
Okay.
workshop comes up, and it will, then Vilessa will struggle against that because scorpions and mangonels are going to hit the fray or the field, and yeah, there is a lot of idle time being caused by those siege units. And Vilessa, even though he has the clear villager lead, he will not be able to make the villagers work as efficiently as he likes to have it.
Yep, and this is where I always die as Kumans. I get the Vil lead, everything's fine, but then I die to this push, and then somehow if I'm on the other side of it, I like scouts pick off my villager coming forward, which is very much a possibility. Velez could have done that, and then I die on the other side of it too. So another stable for Velez, maybe he senses this. Also is getting horse color now and starting to farm, so he senses he needs more food there. Hera needs to make sure he conserves his numbers now. And I like the Ram edition. I actually really like that. Just go for the stable. I think you could also make an argument, though, to just go for mangonels, because then you can at least hit villagers. Whereas the Ram doesn't really do the best job at that.
That's the thing. I understand the addition of the Ram, but I would rather have a mangonel because that will delay or idle the villagers of Vilessa right now. And the stable is very cheap for Vilessa. So if it was other civilization, then maybe yes. But right now, mangonel would be the better play, I guess. But okay, Hera has chosen to go for the Ram. And he is a little bit annoying with the units he has right now with the Knight and the Scout.
Yep, trying to pill Vil, which he will do. Well done. Could easily get another one here if he blocks with the Scout. Also, it was on the other side. Killed the Scout there. So just all Hera right now. And now you have to think about how many villagers are actually working efficiently for Velez.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's got 20 idols. So he's got a 14 villager or 11 villager lead, and that's it. And so many idols.
That's the problem. And he only has... How many does he have on food? Only 13. But a lot of them are exposed on the berries. So I see a world where this can snowball really, really quick. Hera right now is still playing with 1 TC. So he is heavily behind in terms of the village account. But that's not what matters. It matters about how efficient are these are working right now. And Hera's still not up with a mangonel. I think he needs a mangonel immediately.
Yeah, it's almost like he doesn't want to go for that. It's like he's happy ramming and sniping Vils. I don't know. I mean, the way Hera's eco is set up, he doesn't really have the wood for consistent siege. But obviously, with this much aggression, it's hard to have the perfect eco balance.
Yeah, for sure. Hera finding another villager goes down. Yeah, that's just beautiful for him, right? So he's been very active with the aggression. And he's not overcommitting, which I personally love as well. He lost the scout to the TC, but that was the only little blunder he has had so far. And Vilessa, it feels like he's, struggling to deal the perfect defense right now against the aggression from Hera.
It's a tricky spot to be in. I mean, I wasn't sure if he wanted to go for a castle because he was on stone. Now he's got less on food than Hera pretty much. He has to go for a siege workshop. And Hera, I think I could see as... Oh, wait. Counterattack here from Velez. This is a lovely move. Hera's got nothing at home.
Yeah. This is a perfect counterplay by Velez. And these are only 2 knights, right? But they are adding so much value to the field right now.
Ooh, and also at the same time, Velez, sorry, Jordan, lost his monk. And the pressure comes in from Hera. So back and forth action. Hera needs to get a monk at home right now, though.
Yeah, he will be able to defend the incoming knights here with the 3 knights of himself, so he's going to be fine.
Yep.
And now that means all the aggression is going to be on Velessa's base. And this looks very good for Hera. He's in complete control here. He's still 16 villages behind, yes, but he has the map presence. And the big issue also for Velessa right now is he doesn't have the farm count to spam out from 2 TCs and also build army at the same time.
Yeah, I can't help but question again, what would Hera be accomplishing if he had a mangonel? Because from this position with the monks and the knights, he could be hitting either TC, hitting farmers, hitting so much more. But I guess there's also an argument to be made that he also wouldn't have destroyed as many houses. So tricky decision. I think that players tend to go back and forth on that. Hera, though, has to run away. There's monks there for Velez. what Velez is doing a good job of is he's not in a position where he can be killed right now. So he's maintaining his Vil count. He's been on 2 TCs, and the longer this goes, the longer Hera's army doesn't find value, the better this could look for Velez.
Yeah, he even has a cast now, and this means that this aggression is going to be doomed for Hera. And Velez, as you mentioned, he's going to be in a better spot now, as his villagers are really working efficiently now. And it feels like Hera not having the Mangonel as an aggressive unit is kind of costing him, because that would have been able to do so much damage. And now Velez with the castle defensively, I don't see how Hera can continue his push here.
Yeah, it's weird. It normally, like, the knight production has been insane, but I don't get why we only saw one siege unit.
Yeah.
Very peculiar there. I mean, he did so well. All he was missing was a bit of siege to take out the town centers and pressure more. And Velez, in theory, could just back off now. He could even mix in kip checks. He doesn't actually have to be too worried, and eventually he should get a much higher Vil count. I mean, he already has it, obviously, but where are those Vils going, by the way?
I have no idea.
What's happening?
I have no idea. He's losing a lot of villagers here in the process because what are they doing?
Why hasn't he pulled them back home?
Yeah,
there we go.
Oh, felt like a misclick, but yeah, he lost only 1 or 2 villagers in the process. Now adding a 3rd TC as well. He's fully focusing on the Kipchaks, which I absolutely love. And Hera, yeah, he has the army advantage for sure, but he's not going to be able to jump into Velez's economy right now because the castle literally defends everything, doesn't it?
I'd love to see Velez go for a counterattack, because his knights do nothing at home.
Yep.
They do nothing at home. It's just your TCs and your monks at home. So just go counterattack. Force Hera to turn around with all this army. Obviously, Hera could kill it, but if Hera doesn't have town center's coverage yet, there's a good possibility that would surprise him. And it looks like Hera senses this is a possibility right now.
Yeah.
And there are the knights.
Hera's also wall, so he's not going to take any damage from that whatsoever. Now, especially with the knights reinforcing as well defensively. And Velez jumps in there anyhow, and I don't... Yeah, okay, now he's jumping out again. So, not too much damage taken here by Hera. And now Hera will jump onto those monks here.
Yeah, jumps onto the monks. Yeah, Velez into the TC with 2 of them. Also got conversions, also has the castle fire. If he were to just garrison all of his vills, I'd like it the most. But yeah, not bad. Yep. Also avoids giving Hera too many conversions in the middle. Hera's army control, though, is still so good, because you got to think, when you have a Vil lead, you want... The reason you get that many villagers is so you can then have more economy. And then if you have more economy, you get more military. But Hera's just not allowing that economy to gain a foothold here, because he's always producing monks and he's always producing knights in the middle of the map.
Yeah, exactly. Velez, he doesn't have any upgrades on his knights, while Hera has the armor upgrade and bloodlines, and now he's jumping onto the monks here in the middle, and the monks again get a lot of conversions as well, and saving themselves on the TC. And I'm not sure if that is the most efficient fight for Hera, because he is fighting under TC and Castle Fire as well.
Yeah. I think Hera is intentionally taking fights like this because he's going to heal them up.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's been a couple instances now where he'll dive.
He got 3 conversions on knights.
And also...
conversions. That's amazing. And look at the score. Isn't the score completely how do you say, deviating or something like that?
Deceiving.
Deceiving, yeah. Deceiving.
Deviating is a word, though, so you have
I mixed it up there. Yeah, super deceiving, right? But having everything in mind, like the village account discrepancy is not too big anymore, and the army advantage is very huge for Hera. So if Hera is capable of getting a few more raids in, he's going to even be able to equalize that. But we see a ramp push now by
He's
Hera.
gonna go for the kill. He's just not seeing enough army from Velez yet. And to be fair, I understand it.
Yeah.
Because Velez is not producing. He's got 4 TCs, so all his food income is being put into more villagers. But then again, a ram push could be considered very risky if there was a bit more army for Velez. The monks need to pop out of the TC to get their conversions. They're trying. Hera will kill the monks. The rams are on houses again. There's no army for Velez.
Yeah, and Hera, I love that move. He has spotted on the left-hand side the castle which is being built. And Velez is calling it. Are you serious?
I think the 4th TC was a massive mistake.
Yeah.
Velez was fine here.
Yeah.
All he needed was to make a few more stables and just field a couple camels and knights.
Wow.
To me, not a game that Velez should lose from the position he got into, at least at this stage. I felt like this game was going to go imp.
Yeah.
But there was just so little resistance from him.
Mm-hmm.
And Hera had a KD you just don't see every day. 47 kills, 8 deaths. That's ridiculous.
That's amazing. But that just shows how well Hera is capable of microing his units, right? Like, his army control is just out of the roof.
Yep. Pretty wild. Velez had a couple counterattacks, obviously, but, to circle it back to what we'd mentioned earlier, I think Velez, he just doesn't feel comfortable going against Hera in anything that's somewhat standard. He tried the Kuman Boom. Hera punished it perfectly here, like he'd seen it a million times. So
amazing. Yeah, we didn't even see fletching from Velez, so that is a huge issue as well.
He didn't have a single blacksmith upgrade, actually, which is horrible any way you look at it.
Yeah, definitely. He went too greedy there. Just remain on 2 TCs. The castle is defending so much. Fine. Yeah, you're fine. You have the lead already.
Yeah. 2 TCs, protect your eco, and don't put as much food into villagers, and then you have the resources for knights and camels, and you're probably okay.
Exactly. Like, if you go for 2 TCs, add stables, into camels, into monks, you have all the counters which you need against what Hera went for, and also you have the better economy. So everything is just adding up, and it would have been so much better. But yeah, Velez went for the more greedy approach, and that means he is going to be down 2-0, and we are going to jump into game number 3 in a moment here.
All right, perfect. Yeah, it looks like they launched. It will be Mega Random, as you said, Jordan. And we'll see if there's water. Obviously, would benefit Hera for no water. And oh, man, there's no water. So this, in many ways, will benefit the Mayans. Lithuanians, though, start with 150 food. That's good to have in the bank because you don't know how much food will be out there. This map kind of looks like...
What does it look like? That's what I'm wondering as well. How does it look like?
Yeah, I was trying to compare it to a million different things in my mind. It's like if... you know what? I give up. It's like Arabia with the main woodlines on the sides. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Also, they're pretty close together with the TC spots. I gotta say, I love that map generation because I've always been such a huge fan of Mega Random because it really puts you to spots where you feel like you have to have great decision making. Every single map is different, and you have to have very good skills in order to be able to adapt to everything going forward. And Velez's lumber camp spot is not the best one, I think. I would have placed it a bit differently, but okay, it's the way it is.
It's going to be bad regardless, so I wonder what the scouting will be like, because here comes Velez, he sees Hera, and, I mean, they're never... Wait. Actually, Velez sent a sheep to the very right side, and so he located wood there, and then he also located wood in the north as well, whereas Hera, he's still doing the circular motion.
Yeah.
Which you would normally do. So there's a chance that Hera doesn't find the side wood. Yeah.
The thing is, with Mega Random, that's usually a thing you want to do because most of the times there's water on the sides or on the corner, and with that you have that covered as well. Velez should also. Oh, is there a villager being killed by Hera?
We'll see about killed. It's certainly close.
No way he commits here.
No way!
Oh, God.
Man, how did the TC not finish that one?
Yeah, but still, why do you commit here? Never ever commit here.
Well, I think what happens is he thought he could get the kill without getting hit by the TC. He then loses half his HP, and he probably figures in that moment, well, my scout's already weak, so I might as well just get the kill. Do you think that's it? Like, he was too far gone almost?
But like, yeah, super strange that he went for that. And Velez tries to do the same stuff, and he could be very successful in doing so. No, never mind.
Oh.
Oh. Whoa, that was close.
That was
That
very
was
close.
very close.
But again, a good move there for Velez to realize that
Yeah,
he might not get the kill and that he wants his scout on full HP.
exactly. He didn't go for the
Question
Hera.
you, Jordan.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Are projectiles from town centers less accurate on the definitive edition? Like with your memory, you know, you played tons on classic AOC. Do you feel like there's something with the TC projectiles? Because for me, it feels like whatever villagers go inside there with their arrows, they're not very accurate.
I feel so because I remember now when a village or when a scout passes through the TC and it's fuel age scout, it feels like the TC doesn't hit it. And in the past, it was different, first of all. And second of all, it feels like sometimes the TC is delaying the attack.
Okay.
You garrison, and usually it shoots right away, but sometimes it shoots like after 1 second, which is super frustrating.
Yeah, it's hard for us to know, right? Because we might think back. It's so easy to look back and be like, oh, back in my day, this happened, you know. But then, you know, if we were to actually go test it, we're like, okay, it was like that back then too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it can be inconsistent. I suppose it's actually makes it a little bit more, a little less punishing, which is probably good for your average player because running scouts into TCs is a big problem at most elos.
For sure.
But I saw that there and I was like, how did Velez, he was 3 tiles away from the TC.
Yeah.
How did he only lose 3 HP? It made 0 sense to me.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, that's just the way it is. Hera, with the walls, he was able to spot the wood line on the south side. At least he has a little bit of a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
And he is adding the second lumber camp right now, so he's going to go for 4-4-4 trash units. Feels like that. Because he's not on gold, which is super surprising.
Well,
So he will play skirm play.
is this MBL? Skirm Spearman?
I think Spearman and Skirms is what we will see from him. And he has also decided not to commit to the big wood line first. He will go for the other ones. And I expect scouts from him.
I actually think a range opening would be amazing for Velez because if he knew what Hera was doing, I think Hera's just going to go Spearman defense to get walls down. And so adding scouts would likely mean that you just run into walls at this point. But Hera does add the range, Jordan. Still hasn't taken any gold. Maybe just wants to be secure before he can do that. And we have a range for Velez. I think that's a good move.
Yeah, we see the range opening. And Hera, he obviously has no idea. And if we look at Velez's point of view, he sees the range coming up. In the moment. Now he sees it. And Hera obviously has no idea what his opponent is doing. So both players go for the same strategy. However, Hera's economy is just a little bit better. 2 villages ahead with the extra villager with mine start with and also the villager killed. So overall, Hera's position is pretty solid. And now he commits to gold as well.
Yep. Not the most exciting opening from Hera.
Yep.
But effective, right?
Yes.
Effective, safe. And if you think about Hera, he tends to play effective but safe most of the time. Obviously, was aggressive, but you never see him recklessly aggressive. It's normally a little calculated.
Yep.
Where he thinks about his decisions. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right now, Velez could make skirms. But the problem for Velez is there's almost no possibility for him to do any damage to Hera. And so he has to do a good job at tracking the archers. I'd love to see Hera go for the classic Leary and just sneak 2 archers all along the edge of the map. Just don't show them for like 5 minutes. Sneak those, and hopefully Velez will be able to track that, because otherwise a couple villagers could go down.
Exactly. And Hera right now, he has 2 archers ejected from the archer range.
He's going to scout.
Going to scout, right?
I think Velez, this is actually really funny. Velez is going to check the range and say, where's his army? Yeah. He's going to see there's no flag, and he's going to freak out and say, oh my god, he's sneaking. This is hilarious.
It makes so much sense, because if I was in Velez's situation, I was like, I would be freaking out right now. I was like, there was a flag on the archer range. Where is it?
Yep. And so Hera just sends all the archers home, and Velez will never be aggressive because he's paranoid now. It wouldn't surprise me if we see outposts. Velez might also overmake skirmishers. Velez could also, to take it one step further, go for additional blacksmith upgrades.
Yep.
And Hera's he's just mind gaming Velez right now. But as I say that, he's actually going to move out. So who knows how this is going to work. But that's funny, man. I really like that. I'm a little disappointed Hera didn't like fully scout the back of his base because that would have been so funny.
Yeah, just use those archers and a scout, and Vilas is just completely freaking out here. But it feels like Hera wants to deal some damage with those archers, but Vilas on the left-hand side, that's exactly where Hera is trying to go for. He has 2 skirms prepared, so it's going to be interesting how Hera is going to approach this one. I've been in a couple of situations against him in like this, and he usually goes for a siege workshop, 2 crossbow, 2 archery play, and a huge push with mangonels and crossbows.
Honestly, I mean, you could consider it slightly risky to move out with archers without upgrades.
Yes.
We'll see how it plays out, but I wouldn't have minded it if Hera just stayed at home the entire time. But if he finds damage, it's a completely different story, and he's going to find damage.
He will. It's such a bad timing. Vilas moves away now with those skirms, and he's on the other side.
He saw the spearman. He saw the spearman there, and I'm pretty sure in his mind, he was thinking, Hera's checking to see where my resources are. And oh man, Hera must be feeling so good, and Velez must feel so frustrated. But on the bright side, there's no way Hera gets away with this army now because these are Lithuanian skirms. So Velez should be able to kill this. It's just being behind an eco and still not fully walled when Hera could sneak another army doesn't make you feel so good.
And the thing is, we have a 3 villager advantage now for Hera. And yeah, Velez must or cannot be too happy about that one. And what is the transition now for Hera? He goes for the eagle play, which makes a lot of sense. He lost the archer numbers, so go for the eagle play. Your opponent has committed heavily onto skirms. And yeah, this is just ideal because Hera, these archers right now, they're just throwaway units. Nothing less. Nothing
it was
more.
So funny. Like in Velez's mind, initially he's like, okay, Hera's hitting me with the archers. And then he looks at the range and sees the flag 2 minutes later and then thinks, okay, he's probably not hitting me with archers. He's just being tricky. And then the archers actually show up. So just the order of events there was just pretty brilliant. But also, this is the benefit of being full walled. You can't make a lot of mistakes if you have walls down. When you're open, it puts more pressure on you to perform all the time. Velez checking the range again. And now his skirms are in the middle of the map, and now the skirms are like, uh-oh, we got to get home. So, you know, I feel for Velez here because I have been in these types of situations, and I feel like he's going to take even more losses now.
I think 2 villagers will go down at least, and Hera is going to be so happy to trade 2 villagers for 5 archers.
Could even be more because the gold too. This could
snowball so hard here.
The villager's moonwalking. He's like, you can't catch me.
Yeah. And are you serious?
Okay, there's one.
He will kill the other one, right?
What?
How did it not die?
She's dead now.
No, finally. Like, we're not taking any sides, but at this point, the villager has to die.
If life is fair, the villager dies, right?
Exactly. Like, come on. Mine would have died already a couple of minutes ago, so.
Yeah, I mean, that villager would have... If that villager would have died right away, though, Hera could have killed more. So if we're looking at positives... I mean, it feels bad. It's like, hey, buddy, sorry you lost your leg, but at least you still have your other leg, you know. It still sucks, but it, could be worse.
And now, Vilas obviously on point with the scouting. He sees eagles on the field. He sees the upgrades on that as well. And we have a monastery coming in. Vilas has to produce knights as soon as possible.
The timing, though.
Yeah.
The timing's so painful.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And Vilas, he really struggles with the map he has right now. Not being fully walled really is disastrous for him.
Scout goes down because obviously he's trying to save all of his villagers because otherwise the game is 100% over. And he's going for some quick walls. Very impressive. He needs to buy time for the knights. And the knights are there. And the eagles have not gone through. Well played, Velez. Obviously, lots of idle time here. But he is alive. We'll see if he'll be well, though, because Hera will have monks now, and there's no scouts out there to take care of that.
Yeah. The Eagles are not going to be able to find too much damage anymore, I suppose. Nice reaction by Velese. Going with the quick balls here. Also reacting under the TC. So,
Wow.
the defense so far from Velese has been on point. But the monks are going to come into play now as well. And that's something where Velese will really struggle against, I suppose.
Like the approach from Hera. Obviously, he could play with a more defensive outlook, and he could try and boom, but he realizes how exposed Velez is and continues to apply pressure. Actually, snagging a relic right now is Hera, which is always important against the Lithuanians. And we have a second TC for Velez, so if he can keep the TCs pumping and he keeps his knight number high enough, this is manageable for him.
For sure. The question is he going to be capable of producing out of 2 stables and 2 TCs? Need around 23 farms to do so, and he doesn't have that right now. And I like the fact that he still has his skirms alive. They're not going to kill the monk though. But this fight should be good for Velese.
Yeah, that was a very weird fight for Hera. Hera doesn't have second armor yet. He definitely didn't have the numbers. And he should have been able to see that Velez was going to use the skirms to kill the monk. And that Velez had solid upgrades. So Hera, having to add another barracks now, really needs to keep his monks on the ready here at home. And here he'll engage again. He does get the conversion on the full HP knight, which was clutch.
Yeah, that's
but he also loses the knight. Sorry, he loses the monk, which I think right now that's what he needs, is like 3 or 4 monks at home.
Yeah, for sure. Also, he needs to get Sanctity in as well. T90, we talked about that one in the past cast on the Resurgence, and I can not emphasize this enough. Sanctity is such an important tech, especially against the Knights here.
Yeah, it was funny, when I loaded up everything today to cast, someone said, my chat was like, Sanctity! So I think that's the one thing they remembered from our cast together, was how important Sanctity is.
Exactly. Fire Galley and Sanctity, man.
Oh, yeah, true. Did you listen to that song, by the way?
Yeah, that blew my ears, man, but I liked it anyhow.
Yeah, it wasn't that great, at least to listen to.
Is Hera going to be able to snack that relic on the northern side? No way, right?
No
way. No way.
If that's us, it's a stupid decision. Watch him get away with it. I'll be so annoyed. There we go.
Ah, it's dead.
Life is fair.
Yeah, like that monk had to die like the villager previously.
True.
Do you think Velese placed the TC to secure not only the gold but also the relic?
No. I think he just said, "Oh, there's a relic there," and it made him happy.
Yeah.
But hey, Jordan, we've reached that point now, though, where it is very hard to keep knight production and villager production rolling.
Yes.
And Hera's been on 1 TC. He does have quite a few monks. He's also going to mix in siege. Hera also researched pikemen. So this is the most complicated point in this type of matchup, because yes, knights beat eagles in a 1v1, but the monks make a big difference. And then when pikemen's mixed in, you kind of need to switch into something other than knights. In an ideal world.
Exactly. And now we have a fight coming in. I hate that fight for Velese.
Same. Wow.
Why does he engage here?
I guess he thinks he's going to get conversions? Yeah. Well, Hera wants the monks, I guess, but that was very weird for Velez.
Yeah. Like, there was no reason for him to fight there at all. And the monks, yeah, he was able to kill you, but Hera's happy with that trade, I would assume. And now with the pike switch coming in as well for Hera, this is looking better and better for him. And he is going to be able to kill the monk as well, which is very crucial, because every single relic placed in the monastery means that there is more attack for those knights.
Yep. And he can't make many more of them, at least from what it looks like. Yeah, I think...
Oh, no. Hera goes for another relic snipe.
No, is it? Do you really need to do that?
No way.
Don't tell me
right?
He gets it. No way. God,
no way. He got it.
Do you feel like that would never happen for you?
Yeah,
if you tried that?
Yeah. No, never. Like, I would even
never.
I would not even come across the idea to do something like that.
Yeah.
Like, never.
I don't know, man. Well, I'll tell you what. Hera needs another barracks. Okay, he's adding some because he's got so many units in queue, but they just haven't arrived to this world yet. So
yeah.
Every time I look at Velez's eco, though, the TCs are garrison, the villagers aren't working, the idle time sky high, and it feels very similar to the previous game where Hera is massing more army, but the difference is Hera is not behind an eco, despite being on 1 TC.
This is looking so good for Hera, and now the aggression is on, and Velez is forced to add a siege workshop in order to defend this, but yeah, I don't know if you can really defend against this so well, because there are so many eagles on the field and also monks, right? And the TC could be going down pretty soon here.
Yeah, you have to make a decision soon too, because if the TC does go down, you're in trouble. Les needs to use the TC to focus the monks. Well played from him. That's the best case scenario, but there's just too many eagles. And the GG's called.
Wow. T90, I have to say, you were wrong with your prediction.
I was wrong. What did I say? 3-1, Hera?
3-1, yeah. Like, how did you think he was losing a game here?
I don't know. How do you think that Velez was going to win 3?
Okay, I thought we were just focusing on you right now.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, you know, Hera came in like, what is the first map? I was like, okay, he is not prepared. He is going to lose, but he has proven me completely wrong here. Just miraculous play by him. And,
but
yeah, go ahead.
You know, also, just think about how the Civ matchups looked. I mean, a lot of this is Hera's play, but your Jara's looked unbeatable. Chinese, well, you know what? I honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I just have to give credit to Hera, too. It's like 50% the Civ and 50% how he's playing the Civ. He played your Jaras, Mayans, and Chinese. Great Civs, obviously, but my God, he played smooth.
For sure. It was just perfect execution. And Hera, especially on this game, I think I will rewatch this one, because most players, and I would even include myself, that when I see the extra TCs added by my opponent, I feel like, okay, I'm on a timer and then I'm rushing things. But Hera was very methodical with his push. And yeah, he was just making it work. I love the play there.
Yeah, maybe the TC, I don't even know if it created many villagers, but the TC on the right for Velez, that's 275 wood.
Yeah.
If that would have been 5 or 6 more farmers.
Exactly.
Maybe, I mean, we didn't even see pikemen yet from Hera, so maybe he could have knights. Maybe he could have mixed in some light cav. I didn't mind the second town center. I think that position was really good.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the third one, not even what he's spending on it for villagers, but just the amount of wood there. Maybe that could have been spent elsewhere. But it's, again, so tricky. I like the approach from Hera. He realizes how exposed the map is. It's funny. He walls up and makes it look super safe, and then instantly turns the switch into aggression.
Yeah.
GG.
For sure. Very, very nicely done by him. And now we will be having the finals between Mr. and Hera. And as far as I know, Hera feels very confident against Mr. doesn't he?
Yeah, I think, I mean, 2 years ago, Yo just wasn't really feeling it against Hera. And I think I'd have to look at Wikipedia, but Hera's had some very good results against Yo. I think the players that can really hurt Yo would probably be Hera and Leary. I actually think Yo is performing much better against a player like Viper than maybe Hera Leary in 1v1 events. Though it's obviously been some time, right? We're talking big gaps because of you know, the last 6 to 8 months being a bit awkward at times for AoE2 and who's participating and who's not. Yeah, I guess before we part ways, what's your prediction? I'm going to go, after seeing this, I'm going to go 3-1 Hera.
I would have gone for 3-1 as well. So I see Hera, after this performance especially, that he will win 3-1 against Mr. Yo here.
But I think Yo is much better strategically. And Velez had some weird things, man. Like game 2, Yo would win from that position, I think. Or at least he would take that very, very late. Yo just does not, he's not going to die early, I don't think. So I think it'll be a different series. But anyways, man, thanks for casting with me. And thanks for obviously organizing everything. It was fun to watch. And I know the players appreciate the opportunity as well.
T90, is always a big pleasure for me and also for my entire chat to have you with me. Thank you so much for coming in here. And yeah, if you want to have some casting as well for the Titans League, just let me know. I would be happy to do that with you as well. So thank you so much.
For sure.